We found a house in Mazatlan, Mexico that you can rent for 12,000 pesos every month. That's 600 US dollars.
If you want to learn more, stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Luisa,
And Michael,
and we're Retired Life Mexico. Today we are going to talk all about this lovely house we found in Mazatlan. But first, we want to say thank you for being here. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new to our channel, welcome back.
welcome back.
We really appreciate you watching and helping our channel grow. But today we're answering the question that a lot of people have
All the time.
all the time. Don't you guys rent something a little less expensive in Mexico? Everybody could do that.
Everybody should do that.
Well, we just took a cruise and we stopped in Mazatlan. We stopped there 2 days. And the first day we just kind of walked around like most tourists do.
Visiting all of the tourist sections.
Yes, and we saw the sights and we really enjoyed doing that. But we really wanted to see what a house or an apartment would rent for in Mazatlan. And so as we walked down the blue line, and we have some video here walking down the blue line, we met some people. And who did we meet?
Yeah, they're the Mazatlan Tourist Aid Association, I believe they're called, or Volunteer Association. And they're there to help all the tourists coming off of the cruise ships.
Which is really cool because when you get off that cruise ship, there's a lot of people throwing placards at you saying, come in my taxi, come in my pulmonia.
Selling you stuff.
And you're just a little overwhelmed.
You're very overwhelmed.
But if you know to take the blue line, meaning not the bus, it's a walking path that has blue lines, and it shows here in this video. But that way you walk across the street and you come across some more people, a group.
And they're all in blue shirts. And initially you're thinking, oh, here we go again. They want to sell us something. But these people are volunteers to make your experience just wonderful in Mazatlan.
And so the first time we met Jan, this lady that showed us her house, the first time we met her, she gave us a tip on where to go to find that wonderful view of the Mazatlán and the ocean that we'll put up here too. But then we said, we'll be back next week because we did the back-to-back cruise. So we asked her, we were just telling her that
we're just telling our story. We were maybe looking for rentals, or it might be another place to live in Mexico.
So the next time, which was only a week later, we got off the ship, followed the blue line, and there she was.
There she was.
And she was just finishing her tour, her
we thought we were going to say,
time.
We thought we were going to say hi and bye, and we're going to go look around.
But she asked us if we had found a place to look at. We said, no, not really. We were still hoping to run into a realtor that we had met last week. She said, well, I'll show you my place.
Yeah, and amazing.
Said, yay, thank you. So she took us down the street. We're not going to tell you exactly where, but we walked within the cruise line area. And we walked to her place, and we have to first give a little caveat here. She pays 12,000 pesos a month for this 2-bedroom house, but it comes with a caveat.
A big caveat, unconventional.
Yes, it's unconventional because this happens a lot in Mexico.
It does.
It happens to a lot of people who know people. Meaning, if you're part of those groups that we've talked about before, the expat groups, this is how you meet people. Or maybe you are one who talks with locals and you can speak Spanish, and so then you can see signs that say for rent.
For rent.
But this lady, Jan, was able to help out a friend of hers who had to go back to Canada for some surgery.
Yes.
So her friend has this 2-bedroom house and 3 cats. So because this lady needed to go back to Canada for some surgery, she needed a house sitter.
Voila.
Yes. And so Jan says, I can do that. So Jan pays 12,000 pesos for 2 bedrooms. And this is a typical Mexican house in a typical Mexican neighborhood.
Beautiful neighborhood, by the way.
Yes, very safe.
Mm-hmm.
And within walking distance to the cruise port and within walking distance to the Malecón.
Yeah, and it's close to the historical center of Mazatlan.
Yes. And so when we went into the house, you can see, first of all, it has a lot of flowering plants, so she needs to take care of those. It also has 2 bedrooms, like we said, but she didn't really want us to see the bedrooms because there's all of her stuff in there. This was kind of impromptu.
Well, we dropped in.
Yeah, we dropped in. So you can see the living room, the dining room. There's a nice kitchen with an oven.
And 3 cats.
Yeah, we said that. 3 cats. And the cats were skittish.
Yeah,
they didn't stick around for us. No, but a nice dining room table with lots of light next to a park.
Yeah, right outside her window is a public park. I mean, that might be positive for some people and negative for others, but it was a beautiful park.
Right. And then she has the patio on the back that she had a washing machine, but no dryer. So she hangs up her clothes, which a lot of people do in Mexico.
I think it's pretty common in Mexico because the dryer produces more electricity and drives up the price.
Speaking of electricity, her utilities are not included in her 12,000 pesos a month. She has to pay extra for electricity, water, gas, Wi-Fi, and we figured out, we rounded it up to about $100 extra a month. So she pays about $700 a month to rent this place. Now remember, she's doing what I call subletting, right? So somebody else rents the house from the landlord, but has been given permission to rent the house to our friend Jan.
Yeah, during that period of time.
Right. And so it's kind of house sitting, but you have to pay a fee. Because there are communities, there are organizations that we have found out about in our travels here in Mexico and in other places, that a lot of people do what's called house sitting or pet sitting.
Pet sitting.
And they don't pay for that.
Nope. Their job is to take care of the house and the pets and then move on.
And do you know that here in Mexico, at least, it's very, very common because a lot of people, especially us from the US and from Canada, have maybe houses that they have purchased in Mexico. For example, we have friends who, the first time we'd heard of it, told us about this. They house sat in San Miguel de Allende.
Oh, yeah.
And it was because the people who owned the house there had 2 dogs, and they had to go home to the U.S. Well, they didn't have to, but they wanted to go home to the U.S. in the summer to visit family. But when you go to visit family in the U.S., you don't just go for a weekend.
Nope.
You go oftentimes for a month, maybe 2, and then you need somebody to watch your animals and watch your house.
Right. And we also understand that Canadians have a time frame where they need to go back to Canada to keep their health insurance.
Well, that's debatable.
Yeah.
Who do you talk to?
But that's what I heard. So I believe what I heard.
Okay. Yeah. The Canadians have a different system.
Health system.
But they go back and then they need somebody to watch their house. And so those are called pet sitters. And they have house sitters, pet sitters international, house sitters Mexico. And so if you are somebody who's looking that maybe you want to do some checking out the areas and you don't really know what area you might like, pet sitting or house sitting might be the way to go.
Yep. Trusted house sitters.
Oh, that's right. Trusted house sitters.
Right.
And here's a funny little anecdote. When we were in Chapala, we rented for 3 months a 1-bedroom apartment for $700 a month. And it was a cute little apartment.
I enjoyed it.
But it was funny because we met the owners, obviously. They lived in the U.S., I think.
Yeah.
But they lived in a house. They're from the U.S. They lived in a house in Chapala, Ajijic area. And they were not there for part of that time. And we met up with some people from the Go With Less group that we've talked about before. And they were sitting in those people's house for free.
And we were paying $700 a month.
Yeah. They were sitting there for free for, I think, a month so that these people could go back to the U.S. to visit family. Yes, and we were paying $700 a month.
Right.
But they had to take care of the dog. And they also had some construction going
on. So they were somewhat restricted where we could come and go as we chose.
Yes. But that was interesting to hear that. So house sitters, trusted house sitters.
Trusted house sitters.
Or house sitting Mexico, something like that. good way for you to see different areas and also to learn about what's available out there.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is, one, it reduces your rent and you get an opportunity to learn the neighborhood, and maybe find that place that might be your permanent resident, or just a place that you would love without any having to run around and follow a agent around. You can see that neighborhood and enjoy and find that great place for yourself.
Right. So yes, we have been told that we are overpaying.
Yep.
And that we should not be paying this much. But I want to kind of say there is a place to live for everyone's budget and everyone's needs and everyone's desires in Mexico. So you can find a place for $600 US a month, or you can pay like us.
Yep.
And there's something for everyone. So we are so happy to be able to keep showing you these places so that you can see it's not such a big, scary Mexico out here.
Yeah. And think about doing some things that are unconventional. We have learned so much more since moving to Mexico, as we just described, the ways to find a place, live in a place, and explore the surrounding areas.
Yes. So don't be afraid. Come down and see what you can find in our favorite country now, Mexico.
It is.
We love living here, and we're happy to have you with us on our journey through Mexico. So don't forget to like and subscribe.
Ciao.
Leave a comment down below. Hasta luego.
Bye.